Hi, and welcome to my podcast, Help Me Rhonda. I'm your host, Dr. Rhonda Karg. I'm a clinical psychologist, and each episode of this podcast, I present mental health related information to you in hopes that you'll learn some new skills or maybe gain some insight into your own behavior. So, today I'm going to be talking about a very important skill called compartmentalizing. And compartmentalizing is a way for us to contain the emotional suffering that we're experiencing so that we can get on with our life and get things done. As a clinical psychologist who sees patients about 8 hours a day, it's so important for me to be present with people so that I can help them. That's my job, is to be there for them. And I honor my commitments and I do everything that I can do to make sure that I'm present. And occasionally I'll have to take a day off if I'm really in so much either physical pain or have an illness that I maybe have a fever and I really can't even concentrate. But, 99% of the time, I'm going to push through and I'm going to find ways and use different skills so that I can be present with people. So compartmentalizing is taking something in your life that's causing you to suffer. For me, grief is a very painful experience to go through. For some of us, grief is like, it feels like something primal inside of us is hurting. It's just like this really intense sadness and feelings of loss and maybe feelings of abandonment, but it's a really intense experience. And so grief is one of the best places that you can use compartmentalizing. And what it is you imagine taking whatever it is that's causing you suffering and you imagine putting it into a suitcase. Imagine a suitcase and open up the suitcase and you're going to take all the things that are really hurting you right now and you're going to put it in the suitcase. You're going to close the suitcase up. You're going to put the suitcase in the other room or in the car away from you. And then for 15 minutes a day, you're going to take that suitcase out. Imagine taking it out. Imagine opening it up and letting yourself have whatever feelings you're having about the situation. So if you're grieving, maybe it is allowing yourself 15 minutes to just bawl unabashedly, or maybe you're having really intense anger about a situation. You put it in a suitcase, but for 15 minutes a day, you open it up and you let yourself have all your anger. You can scream into a pillow. You could take eggs and throw them against a tree. You could go out in the woods and throw logs around. There's different things that you can do to get your anger out. I happen to be kinesthetically wired, so when I'm angry, it's important for me to move. It feels good. The adrenaline allows me to push myself harder than I normally can, like much harder. And so I get some really good workouts out of my anger. That's how I choose to harness the energy of anger, because it is very energizing, that's for sure. So then, set the timer for 15 minutes. When the 15 minutes is over, okay, imagine shutting the suitcase and imagine putting the suitcase back where it came from. And then you can get on with your day. For people such as myself who are highly sensitive people, remember, you've heard me say this before, highly sensitive people, we have very big feelings. And remember, 20% of the population are people that are highly sensitive people. And highly sensitive people like me, we have really big feelings, and it's so important to learn how to regulate them, because if we're not careful, those big feelings will just swallow us up and we'll stay there, and we'll just want to, we'll collapse in bed and not want to get up and not eat, and you're not sleeping, and you get into that sort of state. And it's therefore really important when really tough, challenging situations come up for you, that rather than, remember the 5 responses to danger: fight, flight, freeze, collapse, or fawn. And fawning is when you are just agreeable and you say yes to everything. And kind of like, imagine if you've ever seen like a pack of wolves together, it would be like one of the beta wolves running up to the alpha wolf, like fawning with, his head down, making sure that he's being very low key, and going with the flow and saying yes when you really want to say no. That's fawning. So those 5 responses to danger, for highly sensitive people, it sometimes is the case that those feelings hang around. If we're not careful, they could hang around for hours, they could hang around for days, they could hang around for weeks. That's how big our feelings can be. So compartmentalizing is one of the most important skills that you can have if you're a highly sensitive person, because once you put it in the suitcase, and imagine putting the suitcase away, now you can get on with your day. That doesn't mean that you will not think about it again. It might come up in your consciousness, but if it does, you just put it in the suitcase. Open the suitcase up, put it in, get back to what you were doing, okay? Really super helpful skill. Practice it, see how you like it. Would love to hear how it goes for you. Please leave your experience or your reactions in the comments below. Thanks so much for joining me today. I appreciate your support. Have a good day.